Have you ever seen someone's eyes glaze over while you were telling your story? That exact moment when you see their soul leave their body and they start looking for an excuse to get away. If that's ever happened to you, this video is for you. I'm going to give you 6 super simple techniques so that no one ever gets bored when you talk again. Before diving into the technique, you need to start by changing something in your mind. Most boring people have one thing in common. They try too hard to please. They overthink every word, every story, wondering, will they like this? And that's exactly what makes them boring. Here's the first golden rule. Stop trying so hard to please everyone and start having fun yourself. People aren't drawn to those who desperately want to please them, but to those who are having a blast. Think about the last truly captivating person you met. I bet they weren't spending their time wondering if you liked them. They were just in their element, totally into what they were saying. You see, when you're genuinely having fun while talking, you give off this contagious energy. Your face lights up, your voice gets more dynamic, and your eyes sparkle. That energy is super magnetic to others. So, before you even start using any techniques, promise me you'll let go of that constant need for approval. When you speak, your first audience is yourself. If you enjoy what you're saying, others will follow. First, the fake seriousness. Fake seriousness is when you say something totally offbeat while keeping a super serious face, and then let a little smirk appear. For example, someone asks you what you do for a living. Instead of answering, I'm an accountant, you can say with an ultra-serious look, I'm the world champion of Excel spreadsheets, or I'm the reason entrepreneurs get headaches at the end of the month. The effect is even stronger if you start with an answer that seems normal, then drift into the absurd. Fake seriousness works because it creates a contrast between your tone and your content. This contrast surprises and entertains. The trick is not to smile too soon. Let there be a moment of awkward silence before showing that you're joking. Second, smart self-deprecation. Self-deprecation, when used in the right amount, is a social superpower. Careful, I'm not talking about putting yourself down or playing the victim. I'm talking about telling your little struggles and awkward moments with humor. For example, I said kiss to my boss when I hung up. I meant to say thank you. I've changed my identity since then. Or like, I spilled my coffee on my laptop. I yelled no, in slow motion like in the movies, except it was in an open office. Self-deprecation shows several really positive things about you. You're confident enough to laugh at yourself. You're not perfect and you own it, which makes you more relatable. You don't take yourself too seriously. People instantly reconnect with those who share their imperfections. It creates a feeling of, we're all in the same boat. But be careful, 1 or 2 anecdotes are enough. The goal isn't to come across as a loser, but as someone authentic. Absurd humor with a mental image. Here's a secret that 90% of people don't know. Your brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. Neuroscientists call this the picture superiority effect. When you create an unexpected mental image, you instantly activate several areas of your listener's brain. Instead of just saying, it was cold, say, it was so cold that even my phone told me, let me die in peace. This technique forces the brain to build a visual scene, which automatically triggers engagement. Studies in cognitive psychology show that unexpected comparisons activate the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for attention and pleasure. That's exactly what happens when you say, my heart was beating faster than a hamster on cocaine on a treadmill. Here's the scientific formula. Ordinary situation plus impossible comparison equals guaranteed engagement. This method exploits a cognitive bias called the contrast effect. Your brain loves to solve these little contradictions, and it gives your listener a microdose of dopamine. You've just discovered what professional comedians have been using for decades, but that nobody teaches in traditional communication courses. You just have to keep it simple. Take an ordinary situation and exaggerate it with an unlikely comparison. For the fake sentence ending, this technique involves starting a sentence in a completely ordinary way, then finishing it unexpectedly. For example, I'm a good listener, except if you talk to me while I'm eating chocolate. I'm very sociable, especially with people who send me voice messages under 30 seconds. I'm super focused right now, except when I see something shiny. She looked me straight in the eyes to ask me where the bathroom was. The surprise effect comes from the fact that you mentally prepare your listener for a typical ending, then you completely change direction. This technique works especially well when you use a short pause before the punchline. That pause creates a bit of tension and expectation, which your punchline then resolves in an unexpected way. It's like a mini emotional roller coaster. Your listener expects one thing, then gets something completely different. That little surprise creates pleasure in their brain. 5. Gently teasing others. Teasing is the art of creating a playful bit of tension that makes the conversation more lively. Careful, we're talking about good-natured teasing here, not making fun of someone. For example, to someone who's hesitating to order dessert. Come on, go for it. It looks like your dessert is eyeing you with more desire than your ex ever did. Teasing works because it creates a sense of intimacy. You show that you're close enough to go beyond social conventions. 3 important rules. Tease about things that don't matter, never about insecurities. Do it with a knowing smile. Keep it light, 1 or 2 teases per conversation is enough. Used correctly, this technique turns a polite interaction into something memorable and fun. Technique 6. Tell stories with energy. Even the most ordinary story can be captivating if it's told well. The mistake most people make is telling stories in a monotone, like they're reading a shopping list. To tell stories with energy, use different voices for the characters in your story. Make strategic pauses before key moments. Use your body and hands to illustrate. Change up the pace. Speed up during action scenes. Slow down during suspenseful moments. Add sensory details, smells, sounds, textures. For example, instead of saying, "I saw a dog chasing its tail," you could say, "As I was walking along, I saw this little Jack Russell, totally crazy, spinning around like a broken top. His paws were slipping on the tiles. His eyes were wide open, as if he was chasing the most dangerous criminal in the world. And that criminal was his own tail." Energy is contagious. When you tell a story with passion, people feel that passion. Even a simple story becomes captivating when it's told with conviction. If you never want to be boring when you speak, first change your mindset. Have fun before trying to please others. The key is to stay authentic. These techniques aren't a mask to wear, but tools to express your personality in a more dynamic and memorable way. You know, most people spend their lives trying not to bother anyone, keeping to themselves, not doing too much. But the people who leave a mark are those who dare to be a little larger than life.